This is lesson 2, where we actually look at the different methodologies that you could use for programming. Here is our keyword wall. We should know all of these keywords by the end of the lesson. See if you can remember the order that the different stages go in. Today we're going to be looking at the following models: the Waterfall Model, the Spiral Model, the Agile Model, Extreme Programming and Rapid Action Development. Have a think, what do you think these models are, what do you think the characteristics are, and then we're going to have a think about the layout of these models. So here are some diagrams of the different models. Have a think about how you think these actually might run. So first of all, the waterfall model. The development team will work through each stage of the model step by step. It's very rigid and you don't generally tend to move back onto a previous stage. So this means it's very document focused, creating reports such as analysis reports and relying on accurate and meticulous planning. Once one section is complete, we move to the next one. But the problem is, we're unlikely to go back a stage. So, we're going to struggle to correct errors. It's great for meeting deadlines. However, it can be often difficult to ensure the actual end user requirements are met until we've got a final product. The spiral model is more iterative than the waterfall model. Now remember that iterative means loop. So we continue to keep going back to the requirements and designing, building and then evaluating until we've got a system that we are actually happy with. So you can see our model is split into 4 quadrants: identify, design, construct and evaluate, and we'll keep moving through those 4 different areas. This minimises the risk of us not meeting the end user's needs and the requirements. The risks are analysed at each stage and checked before the design and development stages continue. That means we have levels of evaluation taking place regularly, and we keep going on this until we satisfy the client. Again, it's very document focused, relying on us continuously creating requirements documents and evaluation documents. It's great to ensure that we don't miss what the user wants, so we minimise that risk. So we're going to end up with a high quality project, but that means we might need to keep going back to the drawing board slightly to redo parts of the project or to build on it, and this can be quite long-winded, meaning the project can be quite long and we might go over on budget. Agile development methods can be seen as methods which we work on and we change as we go through, beginning with a small product of the product, and we keep adding more to that. It's actually a combination of a more iterative and incremental design methods. You've seen the spiral method is fairly agile, and we're going to have a look at 2 more. Rapid Action Development can sometimes be called RAD, R-A-D. This is where we create a prototype. Now remember, a prototype is something to give the customer an idea of what it might look like, or to test a product. So you make a prototype rapidly, quickly, so that you can show the client, and you're going to get feedback. Then rapidly develop it again until the product is complete. It is incremental because you're going to be moving through different versions of the prototype, and you keep refining it until the final working solution is achieved. If a prototype doesn't meet what the requirements are, it might be binned and you might start again, or you might move back to a previous prototype. This can mean that work is wasted. However, there's still a very rigid focus on documentation. Extreme programming is another example of the Agile methodology, but it focuses heavily on producing versions of coded software. So speed is really important. So we develop a product quickly and it's given to the client to be evaluated. Again, this product, if it doesn't meet what they want, might be binned. Clients can discuss the version. If improvements are required, you'll go back and rapidly create those improvements to make a better version. Each version will use code which should be good enough for the final version. So in this instance, extreme programming is not using prototypes. It might be a quick solution as needed and the product needs to be in place, but it might not be the full working product, and that then is rapidly developed afterwards. We can look at the 4 different types that we've really thought about in this following diagram. Agile programming is adaptive and code focused. It's iterative. Whereas the waterfall model is very linear. Your next task. Rank the methodologies. Which one do you think is best and which do you think is worst? Try and give a reasoning. Next, create a table with the advantages and disadvantages of each. Did you get these advantages and disadvantages? Check through your work and add any that you missed.